Hey everyone, so today I want to talk to you about my life map. My name is Sarah Blankenship, and this is for my course. And so this is my cover page. I just have a picture of my boyfriend and I. His name's Blake, and then I have a picture of my mom and my dad in the middle with my grandma, and then a picture of me as a child, and then I have me and my best friends, and I put them all on here because they honestly mean so much to me. So then the next thing that I have on here is actually a quote, and it just basically is something that I follow. It talks about when life gives you 1,000 reasons to cry, show the world you have a million reasons to smile. I just want to be that optimistic person, because, no matter what life gives you, you need to just take it and deal with it the best that you can. So the last part of my life map, it's kind of representing what my life map is like. It shows me starting out so young and then getting to the point where I'm an elder. So that's kind of what my life map represents. So my first stage that I chose to talk about was when I'm 5 and then through the time that I'm 8. So at 5 years old, that's when I became a big sister. It was an adjustment for sure. I'm now the middle child, but at the time I was the youngest, and I had an older sister who was 11 years older than I was. And so obviously there's pretty big age gaps between my siblings and I, but I wouldn't trade them for anything. At the time, I was obviously jealous that I didn't have all the attention and I had to share things, and that's horrible to say, but when you're young and things like that happen, it's an adjustment that you have to get used to. And so I also chose 8 because that was the first time that I had experienced a loss that I really remember. When I was 8, I lost my grandma. It was very unexpected, very sudden, which kind of made the grieving process a little harder. And, she was a great woman, and I really looked up to her. And something that was very important in my family is, instead of not talking about it and not getting through it, we, try to celebrate her life as much as we can, try to remember her, and try to keep everything positive, even though she's no longer here with us. So I have pictures down here of my sisters and I right here, and then I have pictures of my younger sister and I, and then our cousins who are like sisters. And then I also have a picture of my grandmother. That's one of our favorite pictures of her. And so my next life stage I chose was 11 to 14. So around 11, that's when I entered middle school. Thought it was going to be so scary, and I didn't think I was going to fit in. And, I just have all these horrible things in my mind, telling me, middle school is going to be awful, when in reality I had some of the best memories from middle school, and I had the best times. Met some of my best friends that I'm still really close to. And then at 14, that's when I entered high school. And, being able to adapt to middle school so well, even though I had all those horrible thoughts, made me realize that I can't have those thoughts anymore when I go into something else. So I had to really change my mentality and tell myself that I can get through anything as long as I have a positive mind, positive attitude, that I'm open-minded. And so that's what I really try to do still to this day. So at 14, I think I was able to adapt to high school so well, just because I learned from my experiences that not everything is as bad as someone might say it is or how it seems. So that's why I put those two life events in there. And so there's some of my friends from middle school and high school. So let's go to the next stage. So my next stage is 15 to 17. So at 15, I experienced possibly losing someone I was very close to, but I also gained someone that I was became very close to and still am today. So 15, I found out that my mom was diagnosed with cancer, which was extremely hard to get through, but we did. And we're a stronger family because of it. And, my mom decided she wasn't going to keep it from us, and she wasn't going to keep her struggles and her journey from us. Instead, she was going to have us go on her journey with her, which I admire and I think that was the best way to go. And around that time, I also met my boyfriend, Blake, and he has helped me a lot. He actually helped me a lot through that experience. And I found that with this stage, communication is key. Without communication, I probably would not have been able to get through all of these things. I probably would have felt alone. My mom probably would have felt alone too. But because of communicating and Blake asking me if I'm okay and me asking my mom if she's okay, and just everyone really talking about how they feel and getting through things, we were able to move on and get through this battle. And when I was 17, that's when my mom was in remission for over a year. And that just means, she beat cancer and she's cancer free, which is great. And that's the time when she said, I'm going to change my lifestyle. I'm going to get healthy. And, I wanted to do it with her. And so we both tried to get healthy. And actually in these pictures down here, here's my mom before. And then here's my mom after. So, you can really tell that she's changed a lot for the better. And I could not be more proud of her. And then here's pictures of Blake and I, some of my favorite ones. And so I just wanted to include this stage, those experiences. And I have some quotes from for cancer and cancer awareness too down here. And so my next stage is 18 to 19. I chose 18 to 19, which is not a big span, but I chose it because 18 is when I graduated high school. And I'll never forget when I sat in my ceremony, I felt kind of not lonely, but kind of depressed a little bit, or, kind of sad, because I saw all of these kids I went to school with and realized, we're all going to go on different paths. And yes, with the technology we have today, we can still keep in touch, but we're not going to see them every day. We all have busy lives and busy schedules and jobs. And, it made me kind of sad to think that, everyone's moving on. Everyone's, going on their own journey and making new experiences without some of the people that we had. So it was kind of hard to do, kind of sad, even though it was a day that we were all celebrating. So I have pictures of my mom and I and my sisters and I and one of my friends, and I don't have a picture of my dad because he was taking all the pictures. So I also talked about 19 because 19 was when, my first year of college, I'd actually gotten really sick and I was misdiagnosed. I had pneumonia, but they didn't realize it for a little while. So then I was admitted into the hospital, and that was a struggle in itself, but I did get through it. And that's why I wanted to put that in here too. And so I just have pictures of my two best friends and then my school. And so that's why I want to talk about that. So my next stage is 22 to 25. So by 22, I want to graduate college and be a math teacher, hopefully in high school or middle school. I want to influence students and inspire them to, do whatever they want and to put their minds, I guess, I'm trying to think of how to say, I guess I want them to think that they can do whatever they put their mind to. I really, really hope they think that they are capable of anything. And that's one of the reasons I want to teach, is to help them get to that point. So I also put in here that at 25, I get married. I kind of made my life map to where I'm experiencing these things. I'm not looking at it from a future standpoint. I'm looking at it as if I was there at that time. So I put that 25, even though it's in the future, I put, that's when I'm getting married to my best friend, and, celebrating our journey in life as well, and, kind of making it permanent. So that's what I did for that. And then my next stage was 28 to 30, which is probably my busiest stage. I said 28, I'm ready to have children, and by 30, I hope that I have 2, whether they're adopted or I have them biologically. And either way, they'll be mine, they'll be a part of me. And that's what I put for, 28 through 30. But then I also put 30 as me going back to get my master's. So even though I have all this chaos and craziness going on with having 2 kids that aren't very far apart. I want to go back and get my master's degree because I feel like you should never stop learning. You should never say this is good enough, because I feel like you could always improve, always room for improvement. And so that's why I put that in here too. So even though it's a busy time, I think it's probably going to be one of the best times of my life. So I just had pictures, graduation and of, growing family and stuff like that. And for 35 to 40, I try to be creative with this, and it might not be the best, or happiest is what I'm trying to say, but, it could be realistic. So I said that one of my two children, the oldest, will show signs of being dyslexic, and, how he'll get through it. But then within the 5 years, it is going to be tough to get through, and that it's going to put a strain on the marriage that I have. But I say that by the time I'm 40, we're going to go to marriage counseling, because I am the type of person that never gives up. Giving up is the last option, if it's an option at all. So I put that we go through counseling and we get through difficult times together. So I just have a picture of someone who isn't dyslexic and, puts everything kind of in an order, and then someone who has dyslexia and it's kind of all over the place. And then I have a picture of just a couple going through counseling and like a little clip art saying that mending a broken heart takes two, which I completely believe. So my next stage is also probably not the happiest. I said that at 45 I'll get cancer. This has always been in the back of my mind that there's a chance that I'll have cancer one day, and so I thought I'd put it into my life map, because it could happen. There's always a possibility. So I put it in there that I'll get cancer, and that it'll be hard to get through, but that I will get through it. And then at 50, I said that I'll be going through the change, that I'll, go through menopause, and how that'll also be tough. And these 5 years might possibly be some of the hardest years I'll go through, but that I will get through it, because I do believe that no matter how big the battle, how big the fight, that it really depends on how much you're willing to fight. And I'm the type of person that will never give up. So that's why I put that in there, because I feel like those 2 times are actually going to be very significant. So then for my next stage, I did 55 to 65. And I just said, when I'm 55, that, my daughter will get married. And I put that in there because I feel like that's a very special time for a mother and daughter to bond. That the two of them, will become close. And even though it's going to be hard to let go of your little girl and, have her move on, and, her experience motherhood and everything like that, that it'll also be one of the best times. You'll see your daughter as, one of the most beautiful women ever, and you'll see her so happy. And so that it will be a very great experience. And at 65, I put that my parents will be passing away. No one ever really wants to think about someone passing away or, losing someone, but I wanted to make this realistic. And so that's why I put in here that both of my parents will be passing away within a few months of each other, which is going to be something very hard, but it's going to happen, no matter what. No matter how much I don't want it to, it's going to happen. And that's why I put that in here. And so I just have a picture of a mom and her daughter on the daughter's wedding day. And then down here I have a picture of my mom and dad, and then my boyfriend and I. And then I had a quote, and it says, "Hold dear to your parents, for it's a scary and confusing world without them," which I could not agree more with. It is scary to think that one day my parents will just be a memory, but one day it's going to happen, unfortunately. So the last stage that I chose was 70 to 80. So I chose 70 as hopefully the time that I will have grandchildren. Multiple would be great, just because I want my kids to experience what it's going to be like to be a mom or a dad. And I want the experience of being a grandmother. I feel like that would be so great, and just something so special. And so I really would like to see what that's going to be like. And I put in there that, you know, as they get older, I'll probably won't get to see them nearly as much just because everyone's lives are so busy. But that's what I put in there. And at 80, I talked about losing my best friend, you know, losing my husband. I put that in there, you know, because that's going to be something very challenging and hard to get through. But I also thought that was very important. So, you know, that's someone that shares most of your journey with, most of your life with, most of your memories with, and when they're gone, you know, it's going to kind of change you, and not for the better, I feel like. But I wanted to put that in there because that's also something very realistic. I wanted my life map to represent something that could happen throughout my path of life. So that's my life map. Here's Blake and I, young, obviously, and then here's a picture of grandparents and, you know, 2 grandkids. But that's my life map. Thank you for watching. Yeah, have a great day. Bye.